Back at the Barn Burner Studios, Boomer, Pinder, Rhett, Warner on this Tuesday. I guess I found this out yesterday. The Grey Cup. It's coming up, this weekend?
This week.
Yeah.
Someone said. In the rectangular province.
That's right. It's a big,
-8 the high, -13 the low, gust into 30. Let's go.
it's a big deal. Now,
That's some playoff football weather.
Retro, you're a lifelong Rider fan.
Must be
So
going, eh?
are you coming back? You heading to Regina for the big game? You got tickets?
I can't leave the country, or I would. Yeah.
What's the matter?
Love to
Have you
get to
got,
Regina.
Is there a warrant out for his arrest or?
You can't leave the country.
I fled the country, and now I can't return. It's really
Tomorrow's
something.
show. I'll write that down. Go on. Right before we took a quick little breather there, we threw it out there. The one of the greatest quarterbacks, statistically speaking, that's ever suited up for has not suited up for the Hamilton Ticats. We'll get into it. But in all honesty, the greatest quarterback to play for the Calgary Stampeders joins us here in the Barn Burner Studios. Bo Levi Mitchell. Bo,
Man,
good to see you,
appreciate it.
buddy.
High praise.
Now, let me go ahead and stop you there because I am going to say Doug Flutie is still number one. If he'd have played 10
No.
years here, the numbers would be
But
insane. Okay, I know.
But he
I know.
didn't.
But there's a lot to undress in what just happened. First of all, you said, the Grey Cup's coming up. I didn't know Pinder knew that because I know he doesn't watch the CFL.
Not true. I watched at least one quarter of the West semifinal.
So he's on the show with me the very first time that I do the Bo show over with you guys, Sports at 960. And I was like, man, let's talk about this Hamilton-Toronto game. Like this game was great. What did you think? Or what was your kind of takeoff? You said, I didn't watch it. I don't really watch CFL. I'm like looking around, I'm like, why is he on the show? Like, what is going on right now?
I wasn't on the show much after that, to be fair. It was a lot of Pat.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rhett, you're wearing a Yankees hat all the time.
Yeah.
Can't see you right now, but normally you're wearing a Yankees hat on this show. I've been watching you boys.
Oh,
Love the studio, by the way.
thank you.
The cars are very nice.
Tower taking care of us. Good people.
But Rhett, why can you not leave the country? I want to know.
Immigration issues, Bo. If I leave, I probably can't come back. If I come, it's just ill-planned, I guess, is really the gist of it.
Out of character
I
for
love it.
Rhett, too. He's such a planner that something,
My-
a little oversight we'd expect to happen, right?
And just such an overall good human.
He's a great guy, yeah.
Yeah, one of
Is
the
he wearing a
very
Yankees
best.
hat?
He is wearing a Yankees hat. You know
Oh,
that.
Just
that's
put it
embarrassing.
on.
That hurts. That hurts.
The
But at the
shoveler's cousin had on an Astros hat yesterday. He was giving me crap about my Yankees hat. Is the Astros hat the one I need to get?
That's what Bo is wearing right there.
Man, I don't know.
Congrats, by the way.
They are the
I
best.
can't see.
I appreciate it, man. It's good to.
I just got to get to.
Feels like the Patriots.
That's
I
right.
got to get to the stadium, and I'll have a Astros hat myself, and I'll be a huge fan.
Okay, so to fill Bo in here, there's a little backstory here. The greatest series maybe ever in the history of baseball was the Sox coming back from a 3-0 deficit to win. It had never happened in baseball before, down 3-0 to win a series. Rhett went to, I believe, all 7 games wearing the home team's gear. Yankees, Red Sox.
No way.
How in the world you
What is
flip-flop
wrong with
between
you?
those two iconic franchises? It's like dressing
I'm
up
a
as Satan one day and an angel the next. It's crazy.
That is amazing.
I'm a sports fan. I'm a supporter of sport.
They took his money. That's part's accurate. Yeah.
I love that you just explained that the Red Sox came back against the Yankees 3-0.
Rhett was there. He was
also-
cheering
As
for
if
him.
I don't watch baseball and know that happened.
Well, this was the year he literally went to every game of that
Right.
series.
I will
That was
say, man,
crazy.
we went to the Astros World Series last year against the Braves and they lost, and we were wearing all of our Astros stuff because we were at the Braves Stadium. It is better. I do think it's better to be in the away team stadium wearing the other gear. It is nice.
I think there's a few cities you don't want to do that, like Philly.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Oakland had the Raiders,
Philly,
you don't want to be
Oakland.
doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want batteries thrown at you.
You are asking for it, though.
Oh,
Right?
100%. But usually the people that do that want it to happen. They want to talk trash back. They want to
Yeah,
fight. We're going to see a video at some point of Rhett fighting in that series.
No.
Oh,
I've
out
said it. I've said it many times. If I'm ever in a fight again, then life is just we've gone too far. I can't handle it. There'll be
Yeah.
no fighting.
Bad shoulders. Yeah.
somebody texted me yesterday when they saw that you were coming on the show. They're like, wow, that's unbelievable. Guy just got traded. How you guys pulled that off? It's like, yeah, that's how we roll.
And the real answer is
Actually had him like for a couple weeks.
We know where Bo likes his barbecue, so
Yeah.
we happen to be at the same place for lunch.
The real answer is that I'm in second to last or last place in the fantasy league of everybody here. So, yeah. By the way, speaking of that, the fantasy teams. So I drafted my team, and I did what any dumb owner would do, is that's go around and tell everybody that I drafted the greatest fantasy football team of all time.
Yep.
And I'm now 1-8.
1-9.
Yeah, and I just lost Cooper Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
your
right.
boy.
It's only getting worse, boys.
Your boy.
Yeah, no, it's not a good gig. I mean, I know you guys. We've been friends for a long time. Princey, obviously wanted to do a show with me and Ben first, and he couldn't get us, so then they offered the show to you guys. And
That's right. Yeah,
That's
that's
what
how it
happens.
goes.
Second fiddle to a curler and a tie cast.
yeah, I just met Jared. I just had to let him know. Like we like to talk trash.
Yeah, that's good. No, and you know what? Thanks for that, because my shit team actually just passed yours this week, because I was at the 1-8. I actually got a win this week.
2-8.
now
Oh, nice!
I think you're alone
Congratulations,
in the
man.
basement. Yeah,
It
congrats
feels
on
good,
that.
doesn't it?
First overall pick, Jonathan Taylor. This is going to be great.
Yeah. So what is it? Me and DJ power play at the bottom now.
Brutal.
Yeah, you and
Yeah.
TJ power play at the
Yeah.
bottom. Boom, about third from the bottom.
So I guess let's get into it. Did you know that this trade was in the works? Did you have a heads up on this? Because I think it caught a lot of people kind of off guard.
Yeah. No, I mean, it kind of caught me off guard. I knew that at some point it would probably happen. Huff did it with Arbuckle. So
To Hamilton specifically, or just that he would move your rights?
just move my rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't know what team. I knew at some point it would probably happen just because of that. Like they did it with Riley Caleros, I believe, at one point. They did it with Arbuckle, and it worked out. He signed, so the draft pick moved from like a third to a first, which is huge for them. I mean, I was excited about it too, like he told me, but I go in, it's my exit meeting with Dave and Huff. So this is like the first time kind of having that talk, like, all right, guys, like, thank you so much. It's been amazing. Huff goes, hey, I just want to thank you. First of all, you've been an amazing Stampeder, loyal. You've been, this franchise owes you a huge debt. Like, thank you so much. Now, with that being said, we've traded you to the Hamilton Tigers.
And as a token of our appreciation, check out the Smelters in Hamilton.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. It was, no, he presented in a good way and asked me if it was something I wanted to do. And, I think to wait till February is tough, because you have a family. I have kids and, find schools, housing, stuff like that. So I'll definitely hear Hamilton out. I want to hear their pitch and kind of what's going on there. But what I said 2 days ago before the West Final was I want to go into free agency. I want to find out what the offers are. I want to know where the coaches are going to end up. I want to know where some players are going to end up. Who's going to even make it to free agency as a player? Because at this point in my career, I'm not going to fight over a certain amount of money with a different team. It's more to me. I want to build on the legacy that I've started. And, I want to do what Henry did, what Ricky Ray did. I want to go to another team, what Zach did. And I want to win a Grey Cup. So I'll make sure I make the best decision based off the team.
Because I guess people understand with free agency, they've traded your rights, but that you can just wait it out and become a free agent.
Yeah, they get to negotiate you.
Hamilton is going to try and woo you, obviously. What kind of contact have you had with them?
Yeah, I've gotten to talk to, some of the guys up top. And first off, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Coach O. Orlando Steinhauer is definitely one of the best guys in the CFL. And I had a lot of players reach out, not just from Hamilton, but from other teams telling me, hey, man, Coach O he's that guy. And I've always known that just from playing. And we've had a lot of good battles in the past, speaking of the 24-0 comeback this year against them. So it was a lot of fun, and it's awesome to get to talk to those guys and kind of just, I mean, I think you guys know, you guys came here for a reason, to do the Barn Burner podcast. That you want to be wanted. You know what I mean? Like you want to go somewhere where people want you, they respect you, they want to hear your opinions and what you want to do with your offense and your team and things like that. So, I've talked to some guys over there. I'm excited about it. I'm sure at some point I'll probably fly out there, go see the city, talk to them. But, right now, as of right now, the plan is not to sign anywhere until free agency. I do want to see what all is happening, but I'm going to respect Hamilton and make sure that I listen to everything they have to say and check it out, because right now they've got my rights, and that's where I'm at.
So, and if I'm correct, the only other time you'd have like something close to free agency, or that would have been coming back from that visit with the Vikings and the other NFL teams when you did the workouts?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I still don't really know how free agency works.
Okay.
I've been in the league for a while. But
so it's rare.
It's just, it's kind of like, there's like a window, I think a week before, where teams can finally talk to you. try to put something in place before the actual day of free agency starts. But yeah, so yeah, the last time would have been 2018 after the Grey Cup and MOP, going out to try for some NFL teams and then coming back. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. But I think the hard part is, man, as a quarterback, let's say you're me, or, you're somebody, another, big time quarterback in the league, and you're about to sign, you want to see where other guys are going. So I want to know where, certain receivers are going to end up, where certain O-linemen are going to end up.
Yep.
OCs, definitely. Coaches will happen right away. So I'll get a sense of where coaches are going to be. But the hard thing about the players is the quarterback costs the most money.
Right.
So you're typically the first chip to fall, so teams really need to know, okay, like, am I spending, $500,000 on you, or am I spending $250,000 on a different guy? Because that gives me an extra $250 I can go spend on a different receiver or O-lineman or whatever. So it's hard because as a quarterback, you want to know, okay, where is this guy going to end up? Where is this guy going to end up? And that's where I want to be. But those guys don't typically sign until after the QB sign. So, I mean, it's a little bit tough in that sense, but I think I'll try to talk to guys and get a sense of where people are going to go, and, just keep everything above board, obviously, but just try to get an understanding where everybody wants to be.
If I may, real quick, Nathan Rourke's a big topic of conversation. Schefter tweeted about him today. You've gone through a part of that journey, although he's got one real, not even a full season under his belt. What advice would you have for Nathan Rourke, and what do you think the future holds for him, given his skill set and the incredible partial season he had this year?
Yeah, I mean, first off, have you guys got to see him in person yet?
Yeah, I was at the game here where he just, what was it, 300 yards in the fourth quarter, something hilarious?
Insane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when we punted the ball to him and they had the ball on the 4-yard line or whatever it was, I did not feel good about it. And we have an amazing defense, and our defense had played well against him all game. But for some reason, when you see it, it's the same feeling as me as like when we would punt the ball back to Mike Riley.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that we're giving the ball back to this guy. He is outstanding, and he is fun to watch in person. And, now not competing against him, I can kind of talk about him, but he is everything that everybody thinks he is, and is probably going to be more. So it's a little bit different than my situation because we didn't have the NFL window when I was originally, young. And like, let's say I won the Grey Cup in 14, I would have been able to try out the NFL window then. So, I mean, my advice would be, you're young, you're an amazing player. You saw this year that health can change in an instant. So if you have the opportunities, I don't know why you wouldn't try it. The CFL will be here for you.
Yeah.
He can go try the NFL every single year if he wanted to, and he will continue to probably progress towards one of the greatest Canadian players ever playing this game. It barring staying healthy, but regardless, he's an amazing talent. He's fun to watch. And yeah, it was not fun, but fun at the same time getting to watch him play.
So I just want to go back to the free agency thing. You kind of talk about how chronologically how that works. You have to pay the quarterback and then everything else. You also said that you want to win. Money has to be there to a certain extent, but it's about getting another ring. You can kind of control all of that in a way, right? Because, like, not to compare, Tom Brady has never been the highest paid quarterback. He takes less. It allows the teams to spend more on other aspects of the game. They win jewelry. Are you at that kind of a stage where winning means that much that you would, I'll take less if this guy and this guy, if these guys all come in and we run it back together?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think it's easy, I guess, to take that praise, but I'm not coming off a Grey Cup or an MOP. I'm coming off a season where I got my job taken from me. You know what I mean? So I think even trying to demand Zach Caleros money, who is, possibly going to win 3 straight Grey Cups and back-to-back MOPs, knowing where his contract is at, I think there's kind of a ceiling there, and you kind of work your way down, knowing where you stand. And obviously there's history of what I've done in my past, but, I just think the biggest thing is you have to look around and say, okay, well, how do I sign with the team and give them the opportunity to win? The same thing I did here in Calgary. If I'm the most, let's say, coveted quarterback free agent on the market, I could go try to demand top dollar and all that. And it's great for, a year or 2 or 3 of the bank account later on. But, the biggest thing is I've always talked about leaving a legacy in the Canadian football game. And I want to continue to build on that. And I think the only way to do that is to continue being who I am, try to put guys around me. And I think if there's some guys I want out there, and if I'm going to go ask, Hamilton or, whoever, the team that I signed with, if I'm going to ask them like, hey, I want this guy, I want to be able to throw to this guy. I want to be able to have this guy protecting me. or hey, I believe in this guy on defense. Y'all should really go get him. I've got to be willing to take a little bit less in order to make that happen.
Yeah. We've talked about this over the years, and it's kind of fascinating because it's so foreign to us, the high school football thing and just how big it is. You're from Katy, Texas.
I'll never forget your voice.
Yeah, Texas.
The fake call in.
Yeah, something like that. You don't know it was me. Somebody was doing it. I don't know who it was.
Who's to say?
So, because we always talked about it, you see on, Friday Night Lights, the quarterback has the sign on the front lawn, and then it's, home of Bo Levi Mitchell. Like that happened to you, right? You were the Texas high school star quarterback. That whole thing was your life story in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I always like when people always ask what is Texas high school football like. I've always explained it like Friday Night Lights.
Yeah,
like the town kind of shuts down. Certain restaurants aren't open.
It's a country song.
Yeah, we still have like those signs like where you have to like use the stick to put up the letters, and they would all say like "Go Katy, win state" or "Good luck against Katy Taylor this weekend." So yeah, it was a lot like that. I mean, I would say I became the quarterback the year after Andy Dalton. So there's probably one guy that precedes me that his name's a little bit bigger than mine. He's still playing in the league, and he's a guy that I respect a lot too. So I think it's probably home of Andy Dalton and a little bit smaller letters and Bo Levi Mitchell.
It's more letters. You got to squeeze the font down.
Yeah.
I guess the point to kind of pivot off of that, you mentioned you lost your job. Mm-hmm. Going back to Katy, Texas in high school, when was the last time you weren't the guy?
Oh man.
Or I guess, has there been a time since Katy that you weren't the guy?
Yeah, you know what? I lost my job in college also, actually. I tore my shoulder. I was running a speed option. I have no idea why. I'm not a running quarterback. I think you guys obviously know that.
This is the year Bo's going to run more. We heard that in training camp.
Yeah. I'm running a speed option, and Jerry Hughes comes off the edge and tackles me. And as I'm like mid-pitch out to the running back, and the ball just kind of like trickles out of my hand as he hits me. So I reach out for it and tear my shoulder. And the kid that came in, I think we were 3-2 at the time. The kid that came in went like 6-1 or something. And he was a true freshman. I was a sophomore at the time. And so they kept him in against Kaepernick in Nevada in the bowl game. And that was like kind of the time I made the decision I was going to transfer and try to play with my brothers. I wanted to play with those guys one more time because we grew up playing baseball together. So we ended up getting my brother a scholarship as well to play decent, but that would probably be the last time that I guess I wasn't the guy got my job taken. Yeah.
So away from the stadium, you, your wife, your family, when everyone knows that it's going to happen. It's whatever career you're in, the day comes when it's just not happening. You're not the guy anymore. But to go through it at the professional level, how hard on a personal level was that for you? Because I know you're a proud guy, and the thing about you is you wear your heart in your sleeve. You're the gunslinger. Mm-hmm. You got the tattoo. You're a cocky, brash guy. So when those guys get knocked down a peg, a lot of people love to dance on that grave.
Oh yeah.
How hard was it for you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were dancing on the grave before I was even in it. I think a lot of people were calling for Jake and they wanted to see what the next young guy has. And I understand that being a fan in Calgary, I really do. We've been blessed in this city with a lot of great quarterbacks. And it seems like every time that one is left, the next one that steps up is that next guy. So I kind of understand where everybody's coming from because I remember that with Drew Tate. I remember when I took over, I remember a lot of people were calling for me. And at the same time, it's like, I was happy because I was like, yeah, I can't wait. I want to play. Like I was friends with Drew, so I still felt bad for the guy. But
Drew Tate wasn't a 2-time MOP.
Yeah, no, I mean,
champ, though, right?
I understand that, but he did take the job from Henry Burris, who was, that guy. Yeah. So I think, when it happened, it was tough, but I kind of, leaned on Madison a lot. Madison's always been that rock for me. She's forgiven me for a lot of bad things and been there for me my entire life. And so she's somebody that I respect a lot and that I love her opinion because I think she takes the emotion out of it and she thinks of it from a situation of like, okay, well, how do you want to be looked at? You could come off and you can be, oh, I don't deserve this. I deserve to be a starter. Like trade me right now. She's like, you can be like that, or you can be the guy that everybody who knows you are. And you could be professional about this. And when she had me kind of thinking that way, I was just like, I love everybody in this team. I love everybody in this organization. And I think when I was thinking about the legacy of leaving Calgary in my mind, I was like, I don't want to ruin or tarnish anything that we've done together for the last 10 years over a decision that they have to make for the future. And I understood at the time, and I like Jake a lot. He's a great quarterback, and honestly, I think he's going to be that next guy. So I didn't want to see him fail, So I'm cheering him on. I'm trying to give him all the information I can. At the same time, I'm trying to hold back the fact that, I want to be on that field right now.
Do you feel that you deserve to be at times when you weren't?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think there's times, first of all, I mean, Dave's in a very tough position once you make that move, right? Like, you make the move to the young guy. He plays amazing against Winnipeg. He plays very good the next couple of games. Everybody's like, all right, yeah, they obviously made the right decision. So I think as soon as he falters and has a 2 interception game against Toronto, I think I was instantly upset. I was like, oh, I should be in. I should be in right now. But I started thinking about it from Dave's perspective, because I've thought about being a coach before, and I was like, man, if he pulled him right now, everybody started to question him and his decision. They started to question Jake. Dave and Huff stood by me a lot of times when I was struggling and I wasn't playing great. So I understand their loyalty, and that's the way that those guys work. And then, the Hamilton game came, and there was 3 interceptions. I was like, oh, I'm so angry. Like, I should be in the game right now. And then I just, talked to myself again. I was like, man, I understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I've said that I'm going to stand here and be ready to go when the moment comes. And so I was like, all right, just keep your head down, keep working. And when that moment comes, if you need to be there for your team, guys that you've built a locker room with for the entire training camp, entire year, just be ready to go. And I remember Nick Lewis texted me and he said, hey, he said Henry Burris, had a game and he had his job taken, whatever. And then he had to come in like the second, third quarter. And he's like, I remember being there. Like, he didn't prepare and he wasn't ready and he didn't play that great. So then they went back to Drew the next game. He's like, just be ready for your moment if it happens. So I just kept my head down, kept studying, kept just being ready. And so when the moment came, just made sure I was taking advantage of it.
Are you glad you got that last couple drives in BC, or is it just the result is so big? Who cares?
I am glad. I think it, I think there's probably a lot of, coaches, players, GMs, whatever out there that were looking at film of me early in the year, and they, they want to know, okay, like, if we're going to make a run at this guy, like, what does he have and how does he feel? How does he look? I think it was important for me to get out there and just kind of not, play thinking like, okay, if I play bad, are they going to make a move to the next guy? So that's kind of what I think my feeling was in the beginning of the year. I think I was playing loose, and then I started, if I had a pick or something, I started thinking like, oh man, if I throw another one, are they going to move on to Jake? Because we kind of had discussions early in the year that, Dave wanted to be kind of, that Hamilton, that Dane and Masoli, kind of go back and forth with the hot hand, because we didn't know how my shoulder was going to respond from the year before. And, luckily everything just went so good this offseason, my shoulder, and I felt great. So I was feeling like, okay, well, I'm here and I feel great. Like, I should definitely be the guy right now. So I was ready to play the entire year. So I think when I was playing like that in the beginning of the year, I was kind of, of the opinion that, just don't do anything to let them feel like they have to make that decision to move on. And so I was playing very conservative. So then I think to get in the BC game,
there's no time for conservative there, right?
Well, there's just there's no care. You know what I mean? I'm going out there to do this for the team and try to get a win and do this for myself. And I'm going to play the game the way that I play it. And I think that allowed me to, again, get back to being who I was and just letting the ball fly.
So take us on the field. It's the season's over. You got the ball in your hand, and I just what take me there.
Yeah, man. It was obviously we're taking a knee at the end of the game, so don't love it because we're losing, but it's what you had to do at the moment. There's no reason to get somebody hurt. So I take that knee, and I think some of the feelings kind of rushed to me, especially some of the old linemen that I've played with for a long time, giving me hugs, whatnot, players from the other team. TJ Lee, who was an Eastern Washington Eagle, so where I went, Ryan Phillips, Eastern Washington Eagle. So guys that I went to school with, and coaches, everybody kind of shaking your hand, just kind of realizing that this is the end of an era, that a time that you spent in a place for a very long time. So it was weird, but I will say, like, until yesterday when I was working out at the stadium and I get the kind of news that my rights are going to be traded, it was the first time that I was in the locker room and I'm working out. And I was like, I am no longer a part of this football team. Like, this is, it's crazy. It's weird. There's a lot of different feelings, good, bad, whatever. But I think the good thing is I feel very excited about it. I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited kind of that new thing, rather than thinking like, oh man, did I want it to end this way, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I just feel excited about the next opportunity and getting a chance to go out there and kind of just do this all over again.
there is something about that final moment when, like you said, because I know even for me, seeing it on the screen of a laptop, oh, Levi Mitchell traded to Hamilton.
That's it.
Knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Could see it coming for a long time. And I'll say, watching you with the ball at the end of that game, and then seeing that, it was like, it was real. It was really it was a weird kind of emotion. And I think probably for a lot of fans, they would feel the same way, that guys get older, young guys come in. It's only gone on forever in sport that guys, take over jobs and that sort of thing. But I think it would have been an emotional day for a lot of people yesterday, that not even clinging to hope, but just it's finally official. And I wondered how that was for you yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I mean, a lot of those fans messaged me, so I think that was really cool. Like, we've been through a lot together. Taking over a team, to winning a Grey Cup the first year, to losing 2 straight Grey Cups, and then coming back to win another one. So I think just knowing there's a lot of fans that message saying, "Hey, man, I became a fan of this team 10 years ago. I became a fan of CFL 10 years ago." It's like, so to know that I had a part in bringing some people into the game, and know that they'll be a fan of the Stampeders or the CFL for a long time because of it, that's an amazing feeling, knowing that. So I think there was a lot of gratitude and a lot of just kind of feeling of, just enjoyment to know that, I did make a difference in the city. And I think that's kind of what I always wanted to do, and Maddie and I have always talked about doing. So, yeah, man, just excited to do it again.
How would you describe your relationship, I guess, over the years, and is it any different today with Dave Dickenson? Former quarterback, great quarterback, beloved legend back home.
Oh yeah.
Played in, got a little taste in the NFL, but is a legendary quarterback. And I always wondered about your relationship, because there'd be so much in common between you two, but tough decisions have to be made, and not all of them are going to be ones that you think are the right decision.
Yeah, I think Dave and I have been through a lot together. He was a guy that believed in me very early on. Gave me the reins, and we had, obviously, when he took over for Huff, we had a very awesome run together. Dude, I don't know if there's anybody in football that I respect more than that guy. He shows up early. He does all the things you want a head coach to do. Whatever he says in the meeting room, that's what he says on the field. So players respect that. They want to play for that. Dave's always been a guy also that is honest with you. He tells you straight up, like, he might not give the media everything, but he'll tell you in person, this is what we're doing. This is our plan. This is what I need you to do. And he does that with every single player. So, respect couldn't be higher. Obviously, there was, feelings between us this last year with, what was going on. But again, like, I just try to look at things from his perspective as well, which I'm sure he tried to do, for me, because he's been through it and he's been behind center and, with the helmet on. So, I have nothing but love for Dave, and I always will. And if I ever get to coach, he'll probably be the first guy that I'm making a phone call to coach with, because, he's still a guy that I can learn from. But there's definitely nothing but absolute respect.
That makes it harder when the decisions are made too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because I know for me, if you've got a boss at your job or whatever, and they make changes, like, this guy's an idiot.
Oh yeah, you can't
know what
wait.
he's
Just,
doing.
peace. See you later. I can't wait.
But when it's any other time, like, I really respect this guy, love working for this guy, and then when he makes that decision that negatively affects you, it's like, man, that hurts, because I think this guy really knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
it's harder then.
You know what? It's like, I mean, he's like a brother to me. Like, we are able to be honest with each other, able to talk to each other. We've yelled at each other. We've cried together after a Grey Cup. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of great things that have gone on. I guess in that sense, I would compare it to like a situation like, your dad is the coach of the baseball team, and you're pitching and he has to pull you, and you're like, I can't believe he would do that. Like, but he also knows probably what's best for you and what's going on in the situation. So, I mean, it's been amazing, and yeah, it's tough at the time when it happens, but I've always looked back on Dave as a guy that has made me a much better player than I think I would be if I didn't play for him.
You've been in the city for a decade. What does the city mean to you, and what does the future hold for you in the city?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably one of the hardest parts, honestly. Like, the friends we've made here, just the drive you make all the time. Like, I made that drive from Chestermere now, just seeing the mountains, seeing the Needle, going past Peter's Drive-In. There's that weird gorilla on the
Yeah, the
comic
book
Yeah,
store.
like just things that you always know, and you know exactly where every single turn is and how to get every single place in this city. I live in the Northwest and Northeast in Chesterfield now. Um, you know, I think the city means more to me than I even know right now because, you know, both my daughters were born here. You know, my wife and I built a legacy here. We've built a marriage here. You know, we've been here for a long time. You know, I think it's always going to be a special place in my heart and a place that maybe I move back to and live full time, you know, after football is over. Because Madison loves it here. Our girls love it here. We've got a lot of amazing friends. You know, the best golf course in the city, Lakeside. Shout out Lakeside. Yeah, it's just you know, we've had a lot of I think one thing that's really hard about being American and being up here is when you have kids, you don't have any family up here.
Yeah.
Your mother-in-law can't just move up here, you know, like the work visa and everything. Like you don't get to have that. So when you build those friendships and those family friends that become babysitters, that become people you spend Thanksgiving with and, you know, Christmas, that's what's hard to leave and not feel like you're, you know, going to lose something.
It's like a Canadian family.
I was going to say, and you adopted Calgary early. A lot of players will come through and it's as quick as I can get out of here. Hey, I love Calgary. I love this town. It's great. But there was something different about, I think, you and how you approached coming here. Because I had texted you. I feel like when our morning show started and we started to really kind of get traction, that's when you came to town. It was almost it was all very much at the same time. And I just remember how much Calgary meant to you. And I knew it wasn't lip service, that you were, yeah, I'll sign here long term. If the NFL's the NFL, and if it happens, it happens. But this is where I want to be, and it was legit. This was your place to be.
Yeah, man. I think I was lucky early on to like win in high school, a championship, win in college, and I think what it did was it makes you realize like how special those places become to you once you do that. So I knew that with Calgary, I was like, man, I want to be here and I want to win that championship here because I know what it could like do for my family, this city, to like come together when, you know, you're new, you're young, but if you can come in and make something happen, like you can be a part of something. And I think that was something that Madison and I have always wanted to do. And that's why, you know, I try to say to myself for the most part during the season, and you guys know, like during the off season, that's when we do the charity work and whatnot. So it became this full year round, you know, hey, we're going to do everything we can to make this team better during the year, do everything we can to make the city better. But really, I mean, honestly, the city just made us better. I mean, we love the people here. You know, we're from the States. Obviously, I'm from Texas. She's from Washington. And when we go back now, we feel foreign. You know, it feels weird to be in Texas. It feels weird to be in Washington sometimes, and like realize how people talk to each other, realize how people talk to you, and to realize like man, like people are so much nicer in Canada. You know, people are so much more respectful. You know, so I think we always just felt like the longer we were here, the more this was home, and it always will be.
Do you have a Canadian accent?
Oh yeah, bud.
You do, eh? Yeah.
No, but if I do say "hey," like people are like, "Dude, no, you can't do that." I'm like,
yeah. Well, but this is the thing. You live around the world. You're not where you came from when you go back. Like I'm married to an Aussie, and they're like, "What the hell's wrong with you? You don't sound like an Aussie anymore." Like this is it. This is part of being. You know, it's amazing what the sport's given you. You've got to see some really amazing parts of the world.
Man, yeah, it's been an absolute amazing time, and honestly, I just don't think I would change anything. Even the way this last year went, I think it's been amazing. It was awesome of Dave, I think, to put me in those last two plays to get, you know, the fans to be able to kind of send me off. And, you know, honestly, it was like -5 degrees. I didn't think there'd be a lot of fans there. The Flames were playing the Oilers that night. So in my head, I was like, I hope Dave doesn't send me out because I don't know if there's going to be any fans here. But it was an amazing moment, man. It's been an amazing run, and we've done a lot of great things here. And, you know, we'll continue to, obviously. But, yeah, we'll just kind of see where the future takes us.
Tell me about the next week. Speaking of future, short term, you're on a flight tomorrow.
Grey Cup,
yeah,
man, yeah. So I
think
think
the scene here.
The hard thing is, I was hoping these news kind of wouldn't come out until after the Grey Cup. You don't want to be a distraction. You know what I mean? Like this is the biggest sporting event in our league and what we do. So to set the event up, I would say you've got a chance to, you know, watch probably one of the greatest franchises. You know, of our time right now, do something very special, and that's win 3 straight Grey Cups. You've got a quarterback who was written off by a lot of people because of injury, because, you know, they think he's over the hill. He keeps getting injured, keeps getting concussed. And, you know, I played him in the 14 Grey Cup and thought he was going to be probably one of the best guys that I've ever played against. And obviously that has now played out. Zach's doing something very special, and for Toronto to stop that is going to be very tough. And I think you can kind of see that. Dalton Schoen might be, I don't know when's the last time a rookie receiver led the league in receiving, but he's one of those guys, like in our quarterback room, we talk about, we're like, man, like, you should imagine throwing that guy the ball. Like, look what he's out there doing. He's dunking on people. He understands scramble rules. He understands blocking assignments in the CFL, which is very rare for an American the first year they come up here. And that defense is who they are and what they've been for a really long time. So set the stage, man. I think Toronto, they've got to make some big plays down the field. I don't think anybody throws the ball down the field more than McLeod. So you need Tavares, you need Curly Gittens Jr., you need some guys in that offense to go make some big plays down the field. You need the defense to come up with some random turnovers. You know what I mean? Like the tip picks, the fumble in the pocket from Zach. Like, you need something to happen that it looks like Winnipeg's maybe playing out of character. Because, let's not forget, like, when we were 15-3, however many years back, and going to the Grey Cup, everybody's like, oh, this might be one of the greatest teams ever played in this league. And we lost that Grey Cup. They're doing that same thing right now after back-to-back championships. Like, this might be one of the best teams we've ever seen playing this game. So I would say, to set the stage, man, turn your TVs on, enjoy it, listen to everything everybody's saying about it, because it is going to be a special moment. And if Toronto can pull it out, it's even more special, because they're possibly going to beat one of the best teams ever played. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to get out there and start talking to some of these guys. That's probably my favorite part, is getting out there and getting to talk to guys in these teams and seeing how they're feeling. But man, Grey Cup week is it's a fun, special time, and I'm sure the people in Regina are going to make it even more fun.
Yeah, that's, man, a city to host. That's unbelievable. And our boy, friend of the show, Corey Mace, got his work cut out for him with everything he said about Winnipeg.
He does, man.
Quite a nice first year for him.
He does, man. But him, Josh Bell, I think all those guys over there, all former Stampeders. I think Ryan Dinwiddie is doing some fun things offensively. They've got a chance to do something really cool, and Mace is one of the best in the game. So he'll dial some stuff up for Zach. He'll try to confuse him, but it's gonna be fun to watch.
When you look back, just as we'll kind of bring it in here, favorite target, favorite receiver guy, because I think I've got a couple names. I think I know who you would say, but just one guy that you just knew was going to come down with it.
I think it's hard because you don't ever want to offend anybody, and guys will always find a way to get offended. But I think down the field, when it matters, Eric Rogers. Second down, possible blitz, you got to find a guy that's gonna be in the right spot at the right time. Marquay McDaniel.
Those are the two. Dude.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because I think of Eric because he goes down and gets some time and he gets hurt. It felt like, as good as you guys were, how good you could have been. Like, that was cut short, and there was nobody better. Marquay. If you need 6 yards, he's getting you 7.
Yeah.
The 2-point conversion that you guys had, it was basically an automatic thing. He was automatic for you.
Yeah, man. It was fun to get to play with both those guys. Eric's a guy that it just seemed like sometimes, double coverage is fuck it, just throw it up there, and he just go up there and dunk on somebody. And there you go. Yeah. I had to get one out. Finally y'all can do it.
I was going to say, you've done more on AM radio than you have here.
Offended.
And yeah, man, the Mark Wade just understanding, what I want and where I need him to be. But he understood the defense. He understood pressure. He understood when he was hot, when I was hot, even if he wasn't the hot receiver, kind of giving me those eyes. And maybe even if the guy's covered, I can throw it back shoulder. So two guys I definitely relied on that made me look very, very good. And I would say those two guys.
Yeah. Well, I know for Stampeder fans, like I said, I think it was tough. And when we had Mark Giordano as the captain of the Flames, and you had Bo Levi Mitchell as the quarterback of the Stampeders. And I've told you this, I think that those were two of the greatest ambassadors that the two teams could have had and that the city of Calgary could have had. So that when they went out, it's like, oh, so this is your guy? Well, that's awesome, because Gio did so much for the community, and you and your wife, Mitchell's Miracle, you gave back all the time. And I think Calgarians should be very proud and have been very happy to have you as one of ours for as long as you have been. It's tough to see you go, man.
Hey, man, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody here. The people of Calgary, the fans of Calgary, love you guys. It's been an absolutely amazing run. You've got a good guy in Jake, and you're going to enjoy watching him play. I promise you that. But just stay with your team, but when I do come back to play y'all, make sure y'all fill that stadium, because it's going to be a fun one to watch.
I love it.
Let's see, going.
What do we do with this guy's fantasy team now? Like, he stinks.
It's so bad.
Leave the province. Are you? Do we have to contract the league? 14 is a lot anyway.
I know.
You tell us what you want.
I might have to sell the team.
Yeah, there you go. Relocation fee.
Now Retro's been sitting there. I think maybe he's working on his
Glossed
fantasy
over.
football
Yeah.
team. Waivers tonight,
you still
Retro?
here?
What do you got?
How are the
I
waivers?
picked up a couple wide receivers or put in for them. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
talking to people on YouTube. They love you, Bo.
On
And I-
YouTube.
We're live on YouTube.
Look
The
at you,
comments
just
are flying.
going through the comments.
He's the moderator there,
I
right?
love
That's
it.
where he plays sheriff, right in the comment section there.
And I want to apologize
Oh.
because I took a stab at you after a Grey Cup once when I was drunk
I do remember
in the group chat, and I don't know. I was always too shy to say story. It was meant as a joke. Okay, sorry.
I always know that, man. We've talked since then. And I have nothing but respect for you, big dog.
Did get quiet in there
Except
for a
that
while.
Yankees
I will
hat,
say
though.
that.
I don't know. That Yankees
Too
hat is
soon.
hard to look at.
I believe it was end zone pick and
In the Grey Cup, yeah.
in the Grey Cup, intercept in the end zone. And Rhett, what was it that you said? Do you remember?
I remember.
I said, Bo was going for the headlines or something.
Bo's trying to be the hero.
Bo's trying to be the hero. Full cost in the Grey Cup.
Oh, and you're like, Rat, Bo's in this chat. And then basically,
I
it was
could have
crickets for 2
deleted
months
it, but it was a joke. Come on, he's
you know
good
what? I respect
humored.
you standing by it, though. That's what's better. I respect you standing by
He's
it.
good humored.
So, and it's interesting. Like, go ahead, Retro. Sorry.
Well, I did feel bad because it was really soon after, and I've lost a few big games myself. So I've started to think, geez, I wonder how I would have responded to that a day after a Game 7 loss in the Stanley Cup Finals. So anyway,
Or within the hour.
Yeah, well, as
After.
they're
he wasn't
sweeping up the
checking his
confetti in
phone
the
an hour
stands, yeah.
after. Whatever.
I think I replied to you like right away.
So when you're coming back, what color are you? Because I was having a hard time, but I was hearing green, and you're going to Regina. I
looked
thought
good in
you're
green.
getting real
Jeez.
estate agents and stuff. I mean,
Oh God, that was a crazy rumor.
hey, what's
Someone
going
was like,
on?
"Oh, he's already bought a house here in Regina."
I've always loved you there. Everyone, every single person.
Oh
there
yeah,
loves
no,
you.
they love me in
Yeah.
Regina.
Huge. Yeah. It's like Hasselhoff in Germany.
Could
can't
you handle that,
understand
Rhett?
it. Yeah.
If you had Bo Levi Mitchell wearing the green?
Absolutely. I want him to come. No, he's going to come down when he gets to Hamilton. He's going to come down, and we're going to go to a Bills game, and he can
Rhett's in
walk me
Buffalo
through
right now.
why they screw everything up. Dummies.
Yeah, I don't know yet, man. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, Hamilton's got my right, so I've got to respect them, to the T, and make sure that I give them every opportunity to hear them out, what they've got to say. Because honestly, I respect those coaches a lot. A very good coaching staff, and there's a lot of players on that team that I would love to play with. But yeah, I've got to do what's best for me and my family, and make sure that I do listen to everybody out there. But right now, I'm gonna listen to Hamilton and see what they have to say.
Before you go, NFL, what's going on here? Eagles lose for the first time last night. Allen is making horrible
He's leading the
passes.
league in
all of us.
picks.
I don't know what's
Kirk
going
Cousins is
on.
dancing with his shirt off on the plane.
Blinged up.
Mahomes is just quietly going about his business.
Yeah, man.
What are you seeing?
I mean, it's weird to see the greatest team in the NFL not up there right now. The Houston Texans. We're on a bit of a downturn this year, but
Just this year, right?
just this year.
Right in a
But we
coma.
do have Dameon Pierce, which is really cool. But we'll find a way to mess that up. I'm sure we'll trade him for, a Laramie Tunsil and Brandon Cooks or Kenny Stills.
See, I asked about the NFL, and
Yeah, it's
that's where I
personal.
went.
You
Yeah.
know exactly where I was
It's
going to go.
Astros one. You can't have it all.
That's all right.
I don't know. I think the hard thing for me is when everybody picks the preseason MVP, everybody's Josh Allen's gonna be the guy. And he starts off hot. Everybody's like, well, they're gonna win the
It's
Super
over
Bowl.
already.
I mean, yeah, guys, like it's a pretty cool era to get to watch the Philadelphia Eagles start off 8-0. Like they've always been a team that's like been teetering on the line, and everybody wants to see be good, but everybody kind of hates them. But secretly would love to be a fan of them because they're so diehard. I think it's really cool to see what they're doing. It's weird to see the Vikings doing what they're doing because Kirk is later on in his career, so to see him kind of taking off right now. And I mean, he's always been a great quarterback, but just to kind of do what he's doing right now and leading that team, and then to come back against the Bills right there, that makes a statement that, hey, we're real and we're here. So, defense in the NFL, man, you saw it last year or 2 years ago with the Bucks, the Rams last year. The offense is big. You have to have a great offense. You got to have a great quarterback. But if your defense is not elite, the other team is going to find a way. So I think if you look at the top 3 defenses in the league, those are, who's going to likely end up in the Super Bowl.
I saw this morning, Allen down, Tua now second after Mahomes for odds on MVP.
Really?
You buy into a stock right now?
Man,
You'd like to throw to those
I
guys,
think-
I'm guessing.
dude,
Holy.
I think my problem with that, and I had this conversation when it was like I think it was 15 or 16, and they put me up for Calgary's pick for MOP, and I felt like it should have been Eric Rogers because I think Eric had like 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns, and I think when you see Tua last year, and then all of a sudden you add Tyreek, and now he's, doing what he's doing, I think the answer is it's because of Tyreek. Everybody thought that Tyreek would go down after losing Patrick Mahomes. So I think that's where the conversation should be. He's the guy. That opens up Waddle even more, so he's going to play better. So, I mean, when you add a weapon like that, Tyreek's a generational talent. That guy's speed is insane. A guy, kind of like when Deshaun Jackson first came on, it just seems like nobody could cover him down the field. Kind of feels like what Malik Henry is doing right now with Calgary. Like, doesn't seem like anybody can cover him down the field. So it's fun to watch, man. But Tyreek's a guy that I think I'm not buying to as much as I am Tyreek.
That's fair. And it seems so cruel. Like all the positions, all the stars, all the Pro Bowlers, it's only quarterback conversation.
Always, right?
Like someone's breaking a record.
The rules need to be changed. Or the vote. It needs to be like everybody votes on top, O-line, receiver. It needs to be top quarterback. And then most valuable player needs to start becoming more of a full team. It's Aaron Donald. You know what I mean? It's this guy. Like it needs to start changing a little bit because it's just like, who led
which
the
quarterback?
league? Yeah, because last year, honestly, I personally believe like Aaron Rodgers had a great year, not something he hasn't done before. Cooper Kupp almost broke very old records. You know what I mean? Like of guys like that we're talking about Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson. Like we're talking about two guys that you put up there as the best players ever played in this game. And he's a 6 foot tall receiver that
Yards,
came out of Eastern
receptions, and
Washington.
touchdowns.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
totally.
like insane. Like that's the guy that's the most valuable player at that time. So I mean that's what needs to change and kind of move there. And did I have a bet on him becoming MVP? Yeah. So there was a lot of money that could have played off.
I got screwed out of an Aaron Donald Super Bowl MVP too. I wasn't happy.
Bo, thanks for coming by. Thanks for everything.
I
Have fun in
appreciate it,
Regina. If
I brought a small gift for you.
What do you got?
This is
there?
my putter cover.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's a shoe. It fits on your putter. I can't putt, so I've broken my putter, so my putter no longer fits this. But yeah, I brought it to you guys. It was red, black, and white, so I thought it'd look
Very
good.
nice.
Put it on the display up here
There
somewhere.
you go.
Very
All right.
nice.
Love it.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Take care.
Don't be a
That's it.
stranger when you're back.
Never.
Can
Coming
move
on the
back,
show.
be mayor.
I'll come on the show the week we play Calgary.
See, there's the deal.
There
Done.
it is.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Put it in ink.
What's up?
Coming up tomorrow, tonight, today, all that.
Yeah.
We got snow in the forecast. So shovelers,